All right, welcome back. Now, when it comes to our next story, I feel like this is a subject that, for me, it's a little bit more personal because this is actually related to what I do as my job, which is YouTube, which is to make videos and upload them on platforms like YouTube. And I feel like this is a discussion that is far bigger than the main topic that we are about to get into. And even though the story that I'm going to get into, it is relatively short, it does highlight a massive problem that not only this guy faced, but many other YouTubers, or I would even debatably say that most YouTubers would actually face, and highlights a very significant problem in terms of having a business that relies on YouTube, or that you would need YouTube as part of your job. So with that said, let us go and discuss about what happened to Phantom Strider. Now, for those of you who don't know, Phantom Strider is a pretty popular YouTuber, or one of the more popular animation-related YouTubers, where his main thing is to create ranking videos that are related to cartoons, whether they be animated movies or TV shows and stuff like that. That was his main thing that he has created for several years, for about a decade even. And he's been holding on to himself very well in terms of his YouTube channel. In fact, as of this episode here, as you can see, he actually has a total of 736,000 subscribers, which puts him among the big leagues. Like, he's more closer to the people who have already surpassed 1 million subscribers, such as Saberspark, Shafrillas, Veilski Bum, and The Roundtable. So he's definitely among the bigger YouTubers that discuss about animation. But then he released this video right over here. About a week ago, he put up a video that says, "Ending Phantom Strider and why it's ending." So let's just go and actually watch this. So, like, we're not going to watch all of it, but just like about a minute of it or so to give you a little bit of an idea of what this is.
Howdy, so I've kept it to myself up until now, but I basically have to end the channel, as for the first time in 8 to 10 years, I can no longer afford to keep making videos on Phantom Strider. I'll break this video up into why this is happening and what's going to happen to the channel next. The reason this is happening is, in the last few months, views have dropped so dramatically that I can no longer afford to pay the bills, rent, basic living expenses. Over the years, I've relied on ad revenue almost exclusively to survive. So as a result, in order to make sure I can pay the bills, I'm gonna have to leave YouTube and go back into full-time work. If you're curious, my current plans are to do either electrician work or plumbing work, if someone will hire me anyway. Now, there's a very, very unlikely chance, a cosmic anomaly perhaps, that enough people will become $2 to $5 patrons to essentially save my channel, and they will be my new bosses. I've put the Patreon link in the description, but don't get me wrong, that would be a dream come true, as I love this job. But
All right, so like, we're not going to go and watch all of it, of course, but this is to give you an example and to summarize what he said in this video in particular. Is the fact that he announced that he was about to go and end his channel, mainly because in recent years, especially nowadays, the viewership that he has been getting has been decreasing more and more, down to the point that it's becoming harder and harder and even impossible for him to survive off of the revenue that he would make by making these YouTube videos alone, that he is incapable of just paying the bills, paying for groceries, and all that kind of stuff. And he was pretty much at the point where he considered to go and work either as an electrician or as a plumber while letting go of his YouTube channel. He wouldn't go and actually delete it outright, but he would just no longer be making any new videos on the platform. But he also stated that if the rare opportunity would go and occur that if maybe his fans would go and support him on his Patreon, then he could actually go and actually continue making videos. Now, with that said and done, though, after he released the video, it was pretty shocking, and it pretty much exploded all across the animation community. So much so that his fans definitely took action, and safe to say that the cosmic anomaly that he said, well, it actually did occur. I'm right over here on his Patreon account, just to go and, or his Patreon page specifically. And as you could see here, it's safe to say that his YouTube career actually did get saved. Like, originally he just wanted to ask for $2,000 a month. Like, if his Patreon total can be $2,000 a month, then he could continue working on these YouTube videos. This can continue to be his job, and that he could continue making these, he could go and actually make these videos right over here. And as of this episode here, right now his Patreon page has a total of 935 paid members, in which he is making right now a total of $5,873 a month, or at least in Canadian dollars. Actually, let me just go and do some calculations here. I'm gonna go and transfer that into American dollars to give you more of an idea. I mean, of course, it's in Canadian because, well, this computer is in Canada. So let me just go and try to convert that. So in American money, Phantom Strider is now making a total of $4,352 a month, which is incredible. And I'm not gonna lie, I would even say I'm a little bit jealous of Josh right over here. I wish my Patreon is making that amount of money. Holy crap, that is beautiful. That is an admirable amount of money to make on Patreon. And of course, he even shows right over here what he's going to be making in terms of his next videos now that he is able to go and work on YouTube again, in which it says here that the next video he's going to be making now is going to be the worst to best classic SpongeBob episodes. Then after that, he will be making the worst to best modern cartoons, which is going to be an updated video from one of his previous ones. Then after that is going to be the worst modern animated movies. And right now, if his Patreon page makes over $5,000 or US dollars a month, then he will go and make the biggest animated box office failures. So, safe to say that there is a happy ending for Josh. The Phantom Strider channel is not dead, and that now he can continue making videos, especially thanks to the help of his fans and for his Patreon. But the thing is that with all this going on, yeah, some people are even writing down Mad Jelly. Yeah, of course I'm jelly. I want a Patreon page that makes about like $5,000 a month. I want to make these numbers here. Yeah, of course I'm jelly, man. But honestly, for real though, I am happy for Josh that his fans really stepped up to go and save his to go and save his channel and to save his YouTube career in general. But the reason why I want to go and bring this up, it's not necessarily because of Phantom Strider. This is not necessarily about him per se, but I feel like there is a discussion here that needs to be brought up, that more people should really be talking about, and that is how hard it is nowadays to maintain a job as a YouTuber. And honestly, the situation that Phantom Strider faced is really frightening. Again, keep in mind, Phantom Strider is one of the bigger animation-related YouTube channels. He's he is much closer to the number of followers of people like Saberspark and Shafrillas more so than people like me. And even at that, even with all the followers that he has, even with the videos that he would be making, he doesn't have enough in order to go and make a living. He was at the point that he was ready to give up on his channel and to go and move on in order to work as, again, either an electrician or a plumber in order to survive, in order to pay the bills, in order to have food on the table, in order to have a roof over his head. Like, to maintain a YouTube job is very much unsustainable at this point, and it's kind of frightening to see. And I'll even say that when I did watch this video, which, by the way, I forgot to add that also, ever since his channel was saved, he did unlisted. Like, he didn't necessarily delete the video entirely. He just decided to just unlisted where people aren't going to find it and then, like, share it around like crazy. But then again, the thing is, when I saw this video and I saw, like, when I saw Josh's situation, his plea to go and ask people to go to his Patreon to, like, if his fans could go and save his channel and stuff like that, it honestly had me thinking, and I realized that in my situation that, yeah, I'm a little bit on the same boat as Josh. I did not have a good 2024, to be very honest. Like, yeah, so far, like, I would say in terms of the viewership that I get or the growth that I've been having, it's like, it's been average. It's been, like, kind of the, like, what I would usually get. But I never had moments where I would suddenly get some boosts, or I would get moments where my videos would somehow find itself to actually be viral. It's been a pretty weak year in terms of the YouTube business that I have so far. And, like, I am proud of the videos that I've been making. It's just that it's it's just in terms of viewership, in terms of the business, it has not been going well. In fact, there has only been one video that I can think of that actually did end up getting popular, or at least popular to the point that it ended up getting 6 digits in terms of views. And the only one that it did get that this year is my review of the Sandy Cheeks movie, and that is it. And I mean, technically there was one short that I did put out, which was a clip from my Despicable Me 4 review where I was praising Maxime Lamal, and that actually went pretty viral. It got, like, so far it's got like 500,000 views on that one, but it didn't really do much to actually help out my channel or to really go and give it a boost. Other than that, though, it's honestly been pretty disappointing, and it feels like it's been harder and harder to find a video that can, like, break those expectations of, like, what I would do on average and do, like, better than, like, most of the others. In fact, like, even if, like, and it doesn't matter, like, the amount of work that I would put into it. Rather it be a simple review or something that is very complex, there have been times where, honestly, I was disappointed by the results. In fact, I was actually disappointed very recently. You guys probably saw my latest video of the history of Playmobil the movie. That was something that I've spent weeks working on, trying to ensure that I get all the information correct, to go and craft it all together. It took me quite a while, and I'm still very proud of it. It's still, like, I still consider it one of my best videos that I put out this year. But in terms of the result that it got, it honestly was very disappointing. It honestly really sucks. As I'm recording this, it has yet to even cross 10,000 views, which honestly is below average to what I would regularly get. Like, normally during the weekend, if it crosses 10,000, then honestly, that's a good sign that the video did okay by my own standards. But the fact that it has yet to even reach that level, it's honestly disappointing, where I feel like the output that would come out did not match up to the results that I was hoping to go and get. So this is just to go and summarize that, yeah, same with me, man. Like, just like with Josh, in terms of viewership, in terms of business, in terms of getting notice and pleasing the algorithm and stuff like that, it's just been very tough. And a big part of that is because the biggest thing when it comes to maintaining a YouTube business is that there is a very delicate balance to it. It's all about this important, like if you want to have a good YouTube business, then you have to find the importance of what makes three different groups happy. You got to make sure you find a way to make yourself happy, to make your fans happy, and to make the algorithm happy. And you cannot lean in more towards one more so than the others, because then otherwise it's going to go completely off balance and it's going to screw over your business and it will screw you over. Like if you go too much into making yourself happy, then you're pretty much rejecting your fans and you're rejecting the algorithm and your videos will just go nowhere. But if you're going to lean in too much to make your fans happy, then you're not going to be happy yourself because you're not really doing the things that you really want to do. And again, the algorithm is not going to be happy with you because you're just you're just pleasing the group that you have right now. And you don't want to lean in too much in terms of what the algorithm wants, because then at that point, you're just going to be labeled as a grifter, nothing else. So really, it's just hard to figure out what is that balance to make sure that like you could get into that right center so that you can have a very strong YouTube business, that you could create great content that you like, that your fans like, and that it is able to pull a great amount of followers and views. But here's the biggest problem with that though. The algorithm is very unpredictable. YouTube is infamously quiet when it comes to how the business works. They are the least transparent company that you could possibly imagine. And they never tell you what the algorithm wants specifically. So in that regards, it would just like, it ultimately becomes this massive guessing game to try to understand what is it that the algorithm wants. Maybe you have an idea of what you want to do and what your fans may want, but you never know what the algorithm is going to want to have, especially with the fact that it often changes down to the point where whenever the algorithm resets and finds a new thing to go and actually be more appeasing and like to share to its to followers and stuff like that, then you have to go and completely reset the process. And again, that's why it is nothing more but a massive guessing game to try to understand what is it that the algorithm wants and why it makes it so difficult to try to maintain your YouTube channel as a legitimate business. And I can tell you right now, most, if not all people, do not have the proper answer in terms of what makes your business grow. No one will ever know. Even if they did have the answer, or even if they got very lucky and found themselves getting a very significant boost, then at that point, like right now, they wouldn't answer to you how to go and actually make a good YouTube business like they have. You know, it's honestly ridiculous. The unpredictable, with the unpredictable nature that YouTube may have. And at that point, as you're trying to figure that out, it often becomes very frustrating to try to know what is it specifically that the algorithm may want. And when you see that your channel is not necessarily doing well, then that's pretty much at the point where you're just going to be second guessing yourself, and YouTube is not going to give you the answer as to why your videos are not doing as well as what they used to do, or they're not doing well in general. So it leaves you guessing specifically as to why is it that it's not working out. You know, you don't know why is it, you don't know what is the recipe of why your channel is not performing strongly, or what can you do to save your channel or anything like that. In fact, even Josh here tried to figure that out himself and even came up with his own little theories. So just to go right over here, just to share that little piece.
Used to cut corners in videos. I will not deliver you a shoddy video. But writing, editing, and filming all night has been affecting my mental health pretty badly at this point. But since views have dropped so much, I never get to stop. I never get to slow down. Revenue is getting slimmer every month, every day at this point, and Frankly, I'm just scared. As to why viewers have suddenly packed up and gone, based on my years here, I have a theory, but I'm trying not to speculate too much as I'm already really good at attacking and nitpicking my own work. So I try to always give a variety of different topics to you in videos and put my heart into every one, and I hope that comes through. All I can do is my best, but unfortunately, my best just isn't good enough for YouTube anymore. It was enough in 2014 YouTube, but it's not enough in 2024 YouTube. The change I've noticed is, I used to be able to make a video and people would generally click on it because they think, hey, Phantom Strider released a video and I'm curious to see what he's talking about. It wasn't required that what I was talking about was an incredibly clicky or controversial topic. Viewers clicked because they just wanted to hear my opinion on a variety of different topics. But in 2024, that's not the case on my channel anyway. Whatever.
So, to go and summarize, like, he has his own theories and even mentioned that, like, even though he would do his best is not necessarily good enough, which honestly, it is like some pretty harsh words, but there have been a lot of YouTubers that can relate. Now, is that the actual reason why his channel hasn't been doing strong in 2024? Honestly, we don't know. That, like, nobody really knows. And, like, even when I look upon myself, like, trust me, I know exactly the same feeling that Josh had, because I would have my episodes where I would feel like him, where I would look upon my channel where I don't see it doing like strongly or like really gaining momentum or anything like that. And I would just keep second guessing myself. And because of the lack of answers as to why is it that my that my videos aren't pulling the same numbers as some of the bigger YouTubers out there that talk about animation, why I'm not pulling the same numbers as like Saberspark or Cartoon She or any of the other animation related YouTubers, like often, like I would, like, I'm not gonna lie, there are times when I could be hard on myself, where I would even say the same words as Josh and say, like, maybe my best is not good enough. Or I would even question myself and I would even question my reputation. Is it because people don't like me anymore? Am I a hated YouTuber because of like some of my opinions? Is it because I'm known as the guy who likes Wish? Am I still only recognized as the guy who hates Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs? Like, you know, and there are all these like questions that I don't know. And like, I would make my own theories and assumptions. And I know like some of the things that I would go and suggest, like I know they sound absolutely silly, but that's the thing with what this is what YouTube does to you sometimes. When things don't go well, they don't answer those questions for you, and your brain tries to go and fill in those answers to try to make sense on what is going on. You know, like they would try to go and try to fit, you know, they'll try to go and like put in those answers, and they will unfortunately go into those self-deprecating suggestions from there. So honestly, I don't like, so with that said, even though Strider may have a theory on it, like he doesn't fully know what it is. Nobody fully knows what it is. And nobody can really answer why is it that my channel, despite the fact that I've been doing this for about 15 years now, that it hasn't become as big as some of the other YouTubers out there. It really is this massive mystery that it just feels very frustrating with how YouTube is maintaining is business right there. And then, and not to mention, when it comes to the monetization, when it comes to trying to make money on YouTube, like that is honestly a whole different subject right there. And honestly, that is also another factor on why it's hard in terms of maintaining YouTube as a business, or why is it that it is hard to go and like actually make some money on YouTube. And a big reason is because of YouTube itself. It doesn't necessarily give us much options in terms of how we can go and monetize our videos. And that's why we have to go and resort to doing things that many fans really don't like. Like especially when it comes to ads. Like, I'll say this right now. I understand that you guys hate ads, or at least some of you hate ads. I completely get it. And I'm not saying that you should go and take away your ad blocks or anything like that, because I understand. Like, the thing is that with ads, you know, with advertisements, they can be cringe. They can be absolutely annoying, down to the point that you just want to get rid of them altogether. I completely understand that. But we are left in the position where we have no choice but to use ads because the way that we want to monetize our videos is very limited. And we have to go and resort to doing things like putting in mid-roll ads, which, yes, I am guilty of doing so. But I'm not doing it because I love putting in ads on my videos. It's because, I don't have much of a choice. If I want this to be my job, then I have to put in ads onto my videos. It's unfortunate, it's ridiculous, but we don't have much else of a choice. Again, like the only other ones that I could think of is that, well, there's always YouTube Premium that people could go and subscribe to, but then again, it doesn't really do much for us creators. And then there's also channel memberships that YouTube tries to do, but that's basically like a bootleg version of Patreon. And again, that is why you would see many YouTubers where they would go and have Patreons and especially sponsorships. Excuse me. Oof, it's just the gas in me wants to go and get out. But anyways, and also it brings up another major thing. You would be surprised how many YouTubers out there depend on other forms of revenue instead of just YouTubers. I would even say that most YouTubers, their main source of income is actually not YouTube. And I think it is safe to say that Josh here is definitely one of the examples. Like with him making around making almost 6,000 Canadian dollars or around 45,000 US dollars on Patreon, this is going to be his main source of revenue, not YouTube at all. And even other YouTubers have mentioned that their main source is not YouTube at all. Like, if you go down into the comments section, Saberspark right over here, he actually stated that his main source is not actually YouTube, but rather it's sponsorships. He even said here, have you considered video sponsors? That's mainly how I pay myself and my team. I feel like most viewers understand that grind, though it's not every creator's cup of tea. So that, and again, I understand that not everybody is a fan of either, you're not fans of ads or sponsorships or anything like that. But the thing is that we need those. The thing is that if we want to keep making these videos, if we want this to be a part of our business, we have to do so because the money we get from YouTube is not really as much as you may think. Now, I'm going to go on, speaking of ads, by the way, sorry for me to do this, but we're going to go onto a quick break here. And when we do come back, I'm going to go and put in my final thoughts on this entire situation. And then I will be asking you all I'm going to go and ask you, what do you all think about this entire situation? So let me just go and put up this quick break and then we'll be right back. Okay, so now that we're back, I want to go and put in my final thoughts on this entire situation. So overall, when it comes to this entire scenario of what happened to Phantom Strider, I am honestly very happy that Josh's YouTube channel is saved thanks to the generosity of his fans and now has a very successful Patreon account. However, I feel like it really does highlight the reality that there should be more discussions about how hard is it to maintain a job on YouTube or to keep your YouTube channel in a healthy position in order to continuously make it grow, in order to make sure that the views are still coming in strong and that you could still have a good amount of revenue in order to go and make a living. Like nowadays, it feels like it's becoming harder and harder and harder to do so. And a big part of it is the way that YouTube is managing it in a way that doesn't feel friendly to creators, that it doesn't feel like we're in a position where we feel safe in terms of making content on YouTube, and that we have to depend on many other different sources in order to actually get a lot of that money, rather it be through Patreon or through sponsorships or through merchandising and all that, all those different kinds of things. It really does highlight the difficulty of the YouTube business, that we have to do several other things, and that one of the major things for you guys, that if there is a major takeaway for the fans, for you people watching and listening to this, the biggest thing is that if you really want to support your favorite creators, you got to do more than just subscribing them on YouTube. It's really not enough to just go and like their videos and subscribe to them, because it's relatively minor for what they need for their business. I mean, like, yeah, it's good, but you have to unfortunately do a lot more. Where if they have a Patreon, then you have to go and support them through there. If they would have merchandise, then consider buying some, or whatever sponsorships that they would do, then go and actually check it out. Because if you help them with, if you help them out by engaging with their sponsorships, then it will actually help both the people that they are sponsoring and the creators themselves, in order to have better deals, and to go and continue with the collaborations that they would do with those sponsorships. So you have to go and keep making more and more, you have to go and take those extra steps to ensure that if you love those people, then you want to put in the effort to ensure that they keep making those videos that you enjoy watching again and again. And I would even say, for people like me, I know it's crazy that I only got almost 160,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, and I'll say this right now: I am very fortunate with all the fans and the followers that I have had throughout the years. And honestly, I'm forever grateful for that. Yeah, sure, I'm only a fraction compared to the numbers of what Phantom Strider or Saber Spark or Shafrillas or anything like that. The fact that you guys would go and help me out and actually turn this into my own little business of me talking about my passions of watching animated films and all that kind of stuff. Honestly, there is a part of it that really does feel like a beautiful dream come true. So in that regard, I just want to give you all a big thanks. But also at the same time, if you guys haven't yet, keep in mind that I also have my own Patreon, that if you guys want to go and support me, then yeah, I have my YouTube channels, of course, with Electric Dragon 505 and my AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast and stuff like that. But also I do have my Patreon. I mean, I would love to also have that continue to grow as well. If I'm lucky, then maybe I could grow onto the levels of what Josh has right now. But yeah, and I'll even say for myself, by the way, just to go and add that, when it comes to the revenue that I would make, it actually happens more often than not that I make more money off of Patreon more so than I would onto YouTube. But still though, if you go and support on my Patreon, and it doesn't have to be a big pledge, even if it's just $2 a month or $5 a month, it would still be a tremendous help for my own channel. So in that regards, it would also help me out greatly on that. So I feel like overall, with what's been happening with Phantom Strider, again, this is a big discussion that we need to keep this discussion going. Not just with me, with this podcast and all that stuff, but it should also continue with other YouTubers, with other, on social media as well. It should be highlighted that there is a massive problem going on with YouTube, and that the platform itself is not really doing much to help sustain the businesses that are on their platforms. And keep in mind, the problem has not been solved. It is up to Patreon to go and save the Phantom Strider YouTube channel, not YouTube itself. So so yeah, I pretty much wanted to go and really express all of my thoughts on that. So in that regards, now I want to go onto the chat wall, and now I would like to ask you all, what did you all think about the whole Phantom Strider situation? What are your opinions about the whole case, and how do you feel about, you know, when it comes to how YouTube is going on right now in terms of like handling businesses, or what it feels like to maintain YouTube as a job? Let me know what you all think. Let's see now. I know Phantom Strider. I've seen some videos of him at the time, including having the Nostalgia Critic as a guest appearance. I had no idea he was struggling with his YouTube business to the point of stop making videos. While I'm glad he was saved thanks to Patreon, it's scary to see him almost lose his platform. YouTube has become worse, like adding more ads, which even SaberSpark calls them out for this situation, and I don't want to see them lose their platform because of this overall. Exactly, man. Yeah, and I have heard that that SaberSpark did call out many of the problems that YouTube has. And I think, honestly, that would actually be a big help. Like, if Saber can go and actually address many of these issues, like, yeah, it's one thing for me on my little platform here, on my little podcast, to go and discuss this. But if we could have, like, a lot of the bigger YouTubers to discuss about those problems, like, it could actually help to go and address these issues, like, for YouTube themselves to actually notice this. Let's see now. It's nice to see that Phantom Strider. It's nice to see that Phantom Strider. I have that. Oh, it's nice to see that Phantom Strider. Okay, I was trying to understand a little bit of what that means. But anyways, I have enjoyed your videos for a few years now. I think you do a great job on them. Be thankful you almost have your voice acting career in addition to making YouTube videos. Maybe when you make your next animation history video, it could boost your viewership. Remember the quote from Meet the Robinsons and Walt Disney: "Keep moving forward." Exactly. I mean, like, for now, like, again, it really is just a guessing game. And I mean, who knows? Maybe my next viral video will be coming very soon. But, like, for now, it's just like, I'll have to keep making it to, like, the only way that I can really find out when am I when is my videos going to become popular again will be later on as I keep making them and see which one will really pop off. I do relate to Josh right here. I know how difficult it is to make revenue on YouTube. I'm currently doing this as a part-time job while studying filmmaking full-time. Thankfully, like Josh, I do get a decent amount on Patreon. In fact, my first Patreon paycheck has arrived. So I'm glad to hear that he's getting so much help on Patreon. If he can make it, so can I. I do love his channel so much. First watched him since 2015 and still watch his stuff, especially his food videos. Nice. All right. I'll say, like Strider's works, and easy for me to say, I'm glad he's doing well for himself now, and it's nice his fans saved his work, but I do understand what it's like to face upon an algorithm not for videos, but for making art. Often, I post on social media and I barely get any views on them, sometimes even nothing, but take in my grandma's words, don't let that get into your head. If love what you do to impress yourself. Also, for me to you, your work is what gets me up in the morning, always. Oh, thank you so much, dude. Let's see, what other comments do we have here? This definitely is very interesting. I'm honestly glad that Phantom Strider got so much support from his fans. And honestly, it really does prove how maintaining a YouTube career can be hard because of the algorithm. It's the reason why Patreon can become useful to help you and still help you maintain your YouTube. It's the reason just feels like nowadays negativity sells, which is probably why your Sandy Cheeks movie review did so well, because of its negative review about SpongeBob. Oh, absolutely. Like, that's one of the biggest things that I have learned about YouTube, that negativity can sell way more than positivity. Like, you can make a video all you want about, like, the things that you love so much, but if you make a video that's, like, really crapping hard on, like, whatever movie is out, like, that's going to end up becoming more popular. In fact, like, you check out, like, on my YouTube channel, some of my most famous reviews are movies that I would heavily crap on, such as Norm in the North, for example. So yeah, like that's also another thing. It's like negativity sells, which I mean like it's kind of like a trade-off where it's like, yeah, you get, it's kind of like a deal with the devil. Like, you trade in toxicity in order to get a bit more revenue. Anyways, what other comments are there to read? Just want to check. I worry about the next generation of kids. I remember my older sister working as a teacher at a middle school, and a lot of kids' careers is to be a YouTuber or streamer. That's scary to me because those kids don't understand that most won't have a livable income. Artists want to make a living and thus have to do a lot of gigs. Exactly. It is, yeah, like it is very hard. Like there's a lot of I know there's a lot of kids, if not most kids out there, they really wish that they could become a YouTuber, but I can guarantee you the grand majority of them, they're not going to make it. In fact, most of them are going to be very lucky to even reach my level. Again, I am very thankful for the amount of followers that I have, and I'm very thankful that on YouTube that I even crossed 100,000 subscribers. That is very difficult to go and achieve, and nowadays it's becoming harder and harder to do so with how the algorithm is right now and its unpredictable nature. It's honestly at the point where it's just it's difficult, really. Let's see. Any other comment? I think I'll read one more comment and then we're gonna go on to our next break. All right. I saw Phantom Strider's video the day it was uploaded, and it was quite a shock. While Phantom Strider has never been among my favorite YouTubers, I never bore any ill will towards Josh or his content. It's a miracle that his Patreon got a boost, and I wish him nothing but the best going forward, especially with how nice everybody says he is. As for other YouTubers like you, Matt, you have my prayers in trying to adapt to this effed up platform. Yeah, exactly. So, with all that said, I mean, I'm glad that Josh is now doing very well. And honestly, hopefully we can find other solutions of what to do to get around this massive problem. So again, just a quick reminder, if you really want to go and support your favorite creators, then do more than just subscribing to their YouTube channel. Like actually go, buy their merch, go support them on Patreon. Like, do what you can to ensure that what they, with what they do, they will keep on making in the future.